Hello, children. Hope all of you are safe. Welcome to the next session of Life Processes. The topic that we go today is respiration. As you all know, the previous module that we had dealt with, it was entirely on nutrition. How the food is utilized, how it is being absorbed, how it is used up for your various body functions we had studied. Now, what happens to the food that it is consumed? The food that is taken up inside the body is broken down, and that in the presence of oxygen and energy is released. That energy is utilized by us for all our activities. So that the topic for us today is respiration, cellular respiration. Cellular respiration can be classified as aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means when the glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen, and that time it produces carbon dioxide and water. That respiration is called aerobic respiration, which takes place in all living organisms, even human beings. That is why we are all called aerobes. Then what is anaerobic respiration? Anaerobic respiration is a respiration that is taking place in the absence of oxygen. And as we go to anaerobic respiration, you remember that it takes place in some organisms like yeast and other anaerobes. So let us go to the topic of respiration in detail. Now, the first important topic that you have to learn in this chapter is a breakdown of glucose by various pathways. How is a glucose broken up? Now, in our body or in any living body, when the glucose is broken down, what is this glucose? It is C6H12O6, which is a 6-carbon molecule. In cytoplasm, this glucose gets broken down to pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon molecule, plus energy is also released. Now, what happens to this pyruvate? There are 3 options as it is evident to you from the screen. A pyruvate can be either broken down in the absence of oxygen, or in the presence of oxygen, or in the lack of oxygen. Now, as is happening in the aerobes, that means in the presence of oxygen, this pyruvate is broken down in the mitochondria and it releases carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Whereas in the absence of oxygen, as is taking place in yeast, it breaks down and forms a 2-carbon molecule called ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy. But if there is a lack of oxygen, by lack of oxygen I mean insufficient supply of oxygen. If there is a lack of oxygen, as it happens in our muscle cells during rigorous exercises, the pyruvate breaks down into lactic acid and energy. So you have seen the various mechanisms by which the glucose is broken down. There are 3 different pathways. That means in the absence of oxygen, lack of oxygen, and in the presence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, as I told you, it is taking place in yeast. It forms ethanol, that is a form of alcohol, carbon dioxide, and energy. In the lack of oxygen, which takes place in our muscle cells, that is lactic acid and energy. And in the presence of oxygen, it takes place in the aerobes in us. It takes place in the mitochondria and it forms carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Let us go back to a very important question that is usually asked from you all. Why do we get muscle cramps? We get muscle cramps because of this breaking down of pyruvate in the lack of oxygen, which is taking place in our muscle cells. And as a result, lactic acid is formed. Due to the accumulation of lactic acid, we get cramps in our muscles. And how do these muscle cramps go away? You have learned it in your lower classes by hot water bath or a hot water massage or a hot massage. This lactic acid can be broken down into carbon dioxide and water, and at that time the cramps just go away. So these are the 3 different mechanisms of the breakdown of glucose. Now, what is this energy released during respiration used for? We know that the ATP, you all might be familiar with the word ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It is used to synthesize, this energy that is released is used to synthesize a molecule called ATP, which is used to carry on all the cellular activities. ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. It is a way by which the energy is stored up in your body. So even when you are not having food for few hours, your body needs energy. So how does the body get energy from? It gets its energy from ATP. Just a simple step, you just remember how is this ATP formed? It is formed by the combination of ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate, plus a molecule of phosphorus, and it forms ATP. So what is the energy released during respiration used for? It is used to carry on all the activities, and it is stored in the form of ATP. Now let us go to the next topic. What is a major event during the day and night in the plant body? Now you all are familiar with the word photosynthesis. That is what we dealt about most in the topic of nutrition. So during daytime, sunlight is available for the plants. So they carry on with the very important process of photosynthesis, and at that time, the gas that is released by the plant is oxygen. But during night time, when there is no photosynthesis, at that time, definitely there is no sunlight, they cannot carry on photosynthesis. So at that time, carbon dioxide elimination is a major event, because at that time the plant is respiring. So during the day, the carbon dioxide that is given out during respiration is used up for photosynthesis. So have you understood? Some students, they get confused. They just say that the plants are able to carry on with photosynthesis. They are not able to carry on with respiration. It's not like that. Plants are carrying on with photosynthesis and respiration. Both the processes are going on in the plant body, because it is a living body. But daytime, sunlight being available, photosynthesis is the process going on. But day and night, respiration is going on. So respiration is a day-long process, whereas photosynthesis is taking place only during the daytime. Whereas respiration takes place during both day and night. The carbon dioxide released during respiration is used up by the plants for their photosynthesis. Now the next topic, why do aquatic organisms have a faster rate of breathing than terrestrial organisms? Now you might have observed, whether it be the fish or any other water organisms, aquatic organisms, they have got a faster rate of breathing. Why is it like that? Because as you're all aware, aquatic organisms, they get the required amount of oxygen dissolved in the water. But the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water is very less compared to the amount of oxygen that is there in the air. So the rate of breathing in the aquatic organism is much faster. As a result, the fishes take water through their mouth, pass it through their gills, where the dissolved oxygen is taken up by the blood. So this is a very important question for the examination purpose. Why do aquatic organisms have a faster rate of breathing? Because the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water is very low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air. So what have we discussed so far? We have talked about cellular respiration. What is this respiration? It is a process by which the glucose that is taken inside the body is broken down in the presence or in the absence of oxygen, and it forms carbon dioxide, water, and energy. There might be three different pathways in which the glucose is broken down, either in the presence of oxygen, or in the absence of oxygen, or in the lack of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, it takes place only in the aerobes. In the absence of oxygen, in the yeast. And in the lack of oxygen, in the muscle cells. So let us conclude today's class. Let us go to the next topic later. Welcome, children. Now we go to the topic of mechanism of breathing in human beings. As you all are aware, human beings are the most complex organisms on earth. Definitely, their body structure is also organized in such a way. Let us see the diagram of the human respiratory system on the screen. As you can see the picture, the human being has got a nasal cavity, nostril, oral cavity, pharynx, trachea, larynx, the bronchus, bronchi, right lungs, left lungs, diaphragm. Of course, these are the various parts of the respiratory system. But the main organs that are mainly concerned with respiration for your topic that is relevant is your nasal cavity, nostrils, then how it's going to the through the pharynx, how it is reaching the trachea and the bronchus and lungs, and of course the diaphragm and the rib cage also play a very important role. Let us see the mechanism of breathing in human beings. Let us see the video of the mechanism of breathing in human beings.